Welcome to this training. I'm going to be spending some time with you talking about that very subject, time. You know, the biggest thing I see as I see people entering this industry, they always use time as a reason to get busy or a reason why they can't get busy. And I want to share a little bit about my background, if I may, so I can set the platform for you to understand that in this industry, it's all about getting around those who have been successful, who are making action steps towards what's important to them and not using excuses to prevent them from achieving in what they want to do. And the biggest thing here, as a ex-restaurateur working 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, as a single dad bringing up a 16-year-old and a 1-year-old baby, I did not have time. I was not the perfect candidate that you thought, you know what, I'm going to approach Dave because he has all the time he possibly has, that he could actually get busy with this. You know, you want to find people who want time back. You want to find people that want quality of life back. Why? Because they'll understand that if they want something they haven't got, they're going to have to do something they've never done. And if they're going to do that, they're going to be more coachable and more open to learning the system that helps them leverage the time that they have. So, do you wish you had more time? Because if you can commit to 10 to 15 hours a week of leveraged activity, we can show you through our program and our system how to become successful with your Zinzino business. So let's go and talk about one of the things that is very important to understand is every one of us has 24 hours in a day. But my very first mentor said, if you want something you haven't got, you're going to have to do something you've never done. But before you do something you've never done, find someone who's got what you want and ask them how they've done it, and then be prepared to do it. See, the idea of management of time is a complete misnomer. It's not possible for us to manage time. There's 24 hours in a day, there's so many minutes, and there's so many seconds, and there's so many hours, and that doesn't change. The only thing you and I have the opportunity of doing is managing ourselves and managing the activities that we're willing to put into our calendar so we can now maximize an opportunity. And through that process, we're going to learn many things. But one of the things that we want you to understand is the great thing about this industry and your Zinzino business is we want you to invest the time that you have around your full-time commitments, around your existing career, conventional business, family commitments, social involvements. We want you to learn how the principle of carving out windows and blocking out your calendar throughout the week and then maximizing those windows. So on a part-time basis, you can earn a full-time income, but it's not a linear income. Linear, a quick explanation, is that you exchange your skill set for amount of economic return, generally pounds per hour. Doesn't matter if you're someone who fills shelves in a supermarket to someone who's a professional in the medical realm. If we exchange our activity for an economic return, we will stop generating a revenue when we stop performing. This is all about, over time, taking those windows of time and building a full-time residual income based on the ability of people accessing your product and consuming your product once you've built the customer base, then giving you lifestyle. So we want to help you build a full-time income on a part-time basis. And to do that, we're going to need to understand some principles, understanding that tools and resources and a system is far bigger than what you and I are. And that's the biggest obstacle most people have when they embark into a home-based business model, is they're trying to build something they've never done with a mindset in a different paradigm. And so that takes some people some time to cross that bridge of the paradigm shift. We understand that. But the sooner you can resist change and embrace the process, the quicker you'll get to a full-time income working smart on a part-time basis. So let me share 10 business principles about your Zinzino business and how that you can then manage your activities in the time that you have. The first one is treat it like a real business. The challenge with this industry is it's very little to get started. as a publican, as a restaurateur, I had over $250,000 invested in bricks and mortar in a 90-seater restaurant. I had 9 staff. I had hot vehicles, meaning hot sort of catering vehicles that went round industrial estates servicing the clientele. I had advertising, marketing. I had paper advertising, online radio, offline marketing. I had a huge amount of expense on a monthly basis. A running cost of over £35,000 a month. That, to my people that I cared about and my peers in the conventional realm, thought that was a real business. Now I invested a few hundred, maybe $1,000 in my initial startup in this industry, but with my Zinzino business, about €1,000, and I got a box. I got a box with product. I got a box with training materials. I've got my modules, my manuals, but it's not what's in the box. It's what I do with what's in the box. And that's the key here is I saw Zinzino immediately as a business, not a hobby. When we treat it like a business, we'll quickly understand there's things we must learn to be able to maximize the business. And one of the things being busy as a conventional business owner, a career individual, a parent, a spouse, someone involved in your community, you're going to have to make those windows of time, and therefore you're going to have to create daily routines. So you're going to be able to maximize those windows. And particularly if you're operating this around other ventures, you want to make sure you can consistently invest the time. So it's better to work out where you can put 4 to 5 hours in a week than one week doing 10 hours and next week doing nothing. Consistency is the key when building something part-time to generate a full-time income. And the biggest thing I've seen is being able to create a vision of what you want, where you want to be, who you want to become, that it becomes so compelling, it will drive you. It will drive you to get around the information. It will drive you to get around the association of key individuals. It will drive you to be hungry as a sponge to learn what are the income producing activities that when you want something bad enough, that you will do it on the days you don't feel like doing it. And that is where success is created. Success and failure live next door to each other. The reality is, it's a fine line. It's a fine line not to pick up the telephone and make a call because we're tired from coming home from our corporate job. It's a fine line picking up the telephone and calling someone when we're tired when we come home from our corporate job. It's a fine line. See, success in this industry, it isn't based on ability. It's based on those who have the desire to make things happen because they are compelled with the reason why they're doing it. And so when you are compelled, your daily routine should start by planning. Planning not that day of activity, but the night before, a few days before. If you have a clear purpose and a clear direction, that you have a plan and a goal for activity, it's going to propel you on that day where you have to apply that activity. You can hit the ground running rather than wasting several hours when you wake up wondering which direction am I going in today. Allocate some time each week so you can plan for the week ahead. Review the goals that you have your ultimate goal, what you want out of this over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. But to get there, what is it that you have to do this week to move you in the direction of your compelling goal? When you identify what we need to do next, that's my favorite line. Don't tell me how big this can be. Don't show me what everybody else is achieving. Tell me what I need to do next, and then show me how you're going to support me. Show me the tools and resources that will help me while I am learning the true principles of how to create leveraged income. And so when you do that, you're going to want to, most importantly, leverage the support from your upline leaders. And the most important part is to then systemize and diarize your calendars. If you've only got 4 or 5 hours a week that you can put into your business consistently, make sure you're getting around the people that are going to be able to help you, that people that will be able to support you. Get with their diary and ask them for time. Ask them that when can they have time to help you, so you guys can plan ahead by bringing your diaries together and using it as a scheduling tool. Because there's no point going out there and asking people whether they want to be a customer with you, whether they would love to be in business with you, and then you turn around and have to go find someone who can help you explain the product offering, explain the business opportunity. Now, if you've got your calendars together first and then allocated time, then you can actually talk to potential customers and invite them to listen, look, associate at that time. You can talk to potential business partners and invite them to a scheduled time that you know you're going to have a support. So the key here is, first, before you go off trying to do it upon yourself and on your own, I'd encourage you to get with the individuals who are going to support you with their calendar, remembering they're treating their business like a big business. So there is accountability involved here. There is things they're going to want to ask you to do properly to set up the right meeting, the right culture, the right environment, to prepare that newest person, that potential customer, to see what we're sharing with them as a professional business. If we treat it like a business and not a hobby, we'll have a greater success. And because those windows of time are limited, we want to help you maximize the time you spend on income producing activities, because sometimes we can be distracted and we think we're building a business, yet we're indoors being busy. We can be paper shuffling. We can be aligning our books. We can be doing everything except for income producing activities. And guess what we do? We actually tell others that we are busy building our business. And then we can actually share with other people that, you know what, I've been in this for 3-4 months and I thought I'd be further on. I'm not getting the results I thought. Yet they're not actually building their business, but they're thinking about their business more than actually doing the income producing activities. So make sure that you allocate specific times each day, so you can make sure that any admin you have to do, anything that you're learning, reading, listening to, that you're not using that time when you should be doing income producing activities. These are additional time frames that you're going to build around your busy day. Now, I do a lot of my reading, a lot of my listening, a lot of my responding before I go to bed. As soon as I wake up, during the period of time where people I will not be able to get in connection with because they're going to be too busy at work. So those times I call downtime, I'm using it to do the things that aren't income producing activities. And what are income producing activities? Anything that is enabling you to expose your product or expose your opportunity to another, to have them look at the product or the opportunity. Anything else is not an income producing activity. The rest of it could be administration, personal development. It can be many things, but these things do not help you expose your business. They may build you so you can get better at building your business. It could be help you being organized and systemized and have everything filed. That doesn't produce an income for you. It just means you're organized. Never do things that are not income producing activities in income producing time. Schedule your time, be very specific, and then work your calendar effectively. And here's what I believe is the ultimate key. Measure your results constantly. If we don't measure it, if we aren't accountable, if we don't monitor, we simply can't manage where we are, how far we've come, and how far we've got to go. And by reviewing your results, by using a tracker I'm about to go into, and sitting with the individual that is helping you, guiding you, and teaching you, and mentoring you, and working together so you can fine tune it and improve those results. If you try building anything on your own, it will be lonely, it will be tiresome, and you will not survive the journey. Very simply, it's about working together. So once we have managed our calendars, we also understand that family is very important. So allocate that downtime each week. Spend time with your family, with friends, regenerate yourself, recuperate at least one day a week where you switch off from everything. Be free from the business building activities, be free from the mindset development so you can just enjoy, relax, recharge so you can then be more effective the following week. So now let's go into what we know is vitally important. We call it the Learn, Do, Teach. Now, this document is going to be available as a download. So once you've watched and listened to this presentation, get with your upline and ask them how you access this document. Now, the tracker is all about development. It's all about activity, and it's all about driving results. Now, this is called the Daily Dozen. Why? There's 12 things that I can monitor about my own activity. And if I can do that consistently over time, then I'm going to get better at what I'm doing. And I can also look at areas in my tracker that I know that I'm good at. There's going to be areas that I need to develop. There's areas I need to be honest with myself. And the biggest thing is about personal development. You and I will never outgrow our income. So we must develop our mindset, our thinking, our understanding. And to do that, we've got to be a student. And sometimes that is the resistance most people face, because as a 30-year-old, a 40-year-old, a 50-year-old, 50-year-old plus, we don't think we should have to learn anymore. We've done our due diligence. We've done our apprenticeship. We've served our time. Well, the reality is most of us have served our time in opportunities, careers, vehicles that are no longer progressing in today's culture. So if we aren't willing to change, if we're not willing to grow, if we're not willing to get an understanding how to get in and drive a new vehicle, and that's why we can help you make full-time income on a part-time basis without jeopardizing your present income, because then that releases pressure. You want to be having fun with this, but you're going to have to invest time in this and give it time for you to get an understanding, to be able to sharpen your skill sets. And the biggest thing is to truly understand why things are done the way they need to be done. Because the reason why they have to be done a certain way is because it's not about you doing everything. It's about you doing a little of the right things and teaching other people how to do a little of the right things, that when you compound those, you can generate a lot in your absence. So let's go through these 12 daily disciplines. One is good stuff in, good stuff out. I recommend that you start reading. If you're a reader, congratulations. I was not a reader, but reading is vitally important. If you give me somebody who starts reading, I will show you someone in the next month or two whose whole thinking starts to change. And you'll see a visible, noticeable mindset shift. Their words, their body language, their spring in their step, their problem-solving orientation. I can tell someone who's reading and someone who isn't. I encourage everybody to read one book a month. Now you can see here, did you read today? Day one, tick it. 10 minutes here, 5 minutes there. We have an incredible app called Go Core. And so the next thing I encourage people to do is talk about, have you listened to some positivity today? Have you learned something about the product today? Have you heard from another 7-figure income earner, 6-figure income earner, a product specialist? Have you listened to Dr. Paul Clayton today? Whatever it may be, have you used your Go Core app and selected one of the multiple hundreds of hours of information, motivation, education, by simply clicking on an audio on your mobile phone and listening to an app where you can educate yourself whilst you're driving to and fro from work, while you're waiting at the school gates, while waiting to pick up your children, while you're arriving at the gym, as you get into the car after an exhausting 45 minutes, whilst you're doing your exercise, you could be listening to an audio. We all have time. Remember, it's how we manage our activities in the time that we have. Am I attending my online and offline events? The events that are exposing my product to potential customers. My online events that are having someone else present on my behalf who are more successful than I am, more knowledgeable than I am, that I have to just get good at inviting people to see if they're open. So invite them onto something where somebody else's skill set's greater than mine, and they will share my opportunity on my behalf that I can watch and learn while someone helps me build my business so I can earn. If I don't attend things, I can't learn. If I don't attend things, I can't watch, hear, and see how to do things. And so all of a sudden, if I'm not plugged in, as we call it, what we find ourselves is we are disassociating, we are detached, and then we start believing all the negativity, the naysayers, and the misunderstanding and misconceptions about what I'm involved with because I'm not around the people who understand the model. The biggest thing you can do for yourself is get plugged in and stay connected through the tools and resources that help you. So have you listened today? Have you read today? Have you attended an event that you can attend online or offline if there's something in the calendar? We have a Google Calendar that you can, as long as you've got a Gmail account, you can then get access to our Google Calendar where everything is there for you. So if you're busy, using this calendar is going to help you plan your calendar. And are you taking personal time for you? Exercising, meditation, reflection. If it's 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there, in our busy time of day, in our busy lives, we've got to find that place where we feed ourselves, where we reflect, where we analyze, where we look at what we're doing, why we're doing it, and who we're doing it for. That personal time is important. And through that personal time, reviewing our purpose, reviewing our goals, our actions, what do we want from our activity, our vision board. I love my dream board. Have you written it down in a journal? What is it you want out of this in the next 12 months? What is it that you want in the next 3-4 years? What is it that you would like ultimately to happen if money and time were no object? How would you design your life to look today as opposed to what it is today? You may have abundant economic choices, but you may just not have the time to enjoy. And I love this saying. So many of us make enough that we are providing for our family. We just don't happen to be participating in what we've provided for them, because if we stop, it stops, and that security that what we're providing for diminishes. So understand this. This isn't about just kicking a tire. This isn't about, oh, I'm in a product business. You're in a wellness opportunity to impact the masses from a wellness perspective and be royally remunerated by doing this over time. So if in the next 2 to 3 years, you can build a customer base through a team approach that will be purchasing goods and services through your community of distribution, that can create royalty residual income in your absence, now you've got quality of life back. That's not going to happen in a few months. That's going to happen over time, over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, possibly 5 years. But that's why your compelling reason of doing this is vitally important. And that's why reviewing your goals and dreams daily has to remind you, refresh you, re-excite you, reignite you about why you are doing things. Because when you are ignited, when you are excited, when you are focused, then you'll find it easier to plan your day. Because success is a planned event. It doesn't just happen. No such thing as luck. No such thing as being in the right place at the right time. You had to put yourself in that place, and you had to recognize the timing of being in that place. All these sayings that people use to look at someone else who's better off than them is because it's an excuse why they weren't willing to do what you did to do what you did. So there's things that we need to do. We need to track and monitor. Are you on, from a business perspective, are you your best customer? Be on your own auto order. Are you actively building your raw material, your contact list on a daily basis? Going to work, at the petrol station, going grabbing that coffee, popping out at lunchtime and getting your snack at lunchtime. There's people around us. So many people, when they get started, they make a list of only the people they think will be interested and not everybody they know. And I love this. Once you have gone through everybody you know, and most never do because they never make a list big enough, then once that list is exposed and then expired, there's a number of things that can happen. One is over time, you can go back to people on that list. Why? Their circumstances change. Why? Because you have grown and learned how to communicate and position this better than you did 6 months ago. Why? Because your skill set has grown. But once you've gone past that stage, you've also now got the biggest list available to you than you could ever comprehend. And I call it the list of the FTBs, friends to be. You would call them strangers. There are no strangers. There are only other people I have not met yet. There are no strangers. There are only people I have to learn the name of. When you develop that mindset and change your paradigm, then we do not have to live in isolation of someone who may pass us physically and we don't even look at them. When you believe you have a product and service that can impact every living person around you, why wouldn't you want to learn how to communicate that, connect with people, make new friends, friends to be? And when you develop that, you're going to find it even easier to add a minimum of 5 new names to your list daily. Not approach them about the business every day, but make a new connection, add a new name. And then when you add that to your list, you can start making connections. You can learn how to connect with them, contact them. You can use your Express Start manual. You can work alongside your upline, your sponsor, your team, and you can watch them, how they connect, how they call, how they learn to invite, until you get comfortable in learning 3 things. I call them the 3 Ps. When you learn how to position this with the right posture and share a purpose, your success will go through the roof. You're looking for people who health is a priority, people who want to understand wellness. So when you're talking to people about the product, learn how to position it, learn how to share the purpose of helping people come back into balance, and have the posture to share with them that majority of people on planet Earth need what we've got. When you're talking about the business, talk about the purpose to touch 1 million customers, 20 million customers, 50 million customers. What's the purpose? Is to help people regain their health and have longevity in their life with a better quality of lifestyle. And we're looking for entrepreneurs who want to share that alignment with us. We want to help a company go from 80 million euros to 1 billion euros in the next 5 to 10 years. Have the belief through your posture, through the ability to communicate the positioning and sharing the purpose of your message. And you do that by showing the plan. And I'd encourage you to learn how to do this at least 15 times a month. Remember, we're working 10 or 15 hours a week. That's 2 to 3, 4 exposures a week personally over a cup of coffee. A couple of friends over your kitchen dining table. People 3 or 4 or maybe on a Zoom call after the kids have gone to bed. 15 exposures a month is not a lot of time. You can do it personally. You can do it by learning how to invite people onto an online webinar. You can do it by asking them, qualifying them, and using product recording links. You can ask them, qualify them. If money and time are no object, do they keep their options open? You've aligned with a wellness company that's now expanded into the market, and you're looking for influencers that keep their options open. Would you check out this recording of a business presentation? You can do live recordings and live presentations. You choose how you do it. But show the plan, STP, 15 times a month. Now, it doesn't sound a lot, but what happens when you've got 10 people and you're teaching them the accountability tracker? You're teaching them how to build themselves. You're teaching them how to develop their mindset. You're teaching them how to utilize the tools. You're teaching them how to regenerate, recuperate, re-energize, reconnect with their goals, their dreams, their passions. You help them plan their calendar, their diary. You have them now exposing their business because they're compelled with a drive and passion and vision. They're doing 15 presentations a month. You have 10 people doing that. There's 150 exposures now going through your organization, yet you're doing 15. Remember, network marketing, to be successful, it's not about you doing all of the effort. It's about you doing a little of the right things and then duplicating the right activities with a lot of people. You compound that, and now you have a global business that will generate you a revenue 24/7 in your absence, so you now can create lifestyle. But all that hard work, all that personal development, all that time management of your own personal activities means nothing if you don't get good at following up. So many people do the hard bit. They face their fears. They become uncomfortable for a season until they realize how good this really is. But they get very lazy. They think they've done the work, learned how to invite. They think they've done the work by sharing the opportunity or the product. And then they wait for someone else to come back to them. Rather than learning the greatest skill other than inviting, that is following up. And the follow-up should always be created in the invitation. The follow-up should always be reiterated through the presentation. And that is a skill you will learn over time. And you will learn over time how to follow up effectively when you get tired of not following up initially and losing people to other people. So when you use a tool, when you use a presentation, when you use anything for exposing your business, you always at that very point let them know the intention of your specific action is to connect with them immediately within the next 24 hours to answer any initial questions, because you would love to serve them as a customer, or you would love to work alongside them and help them get started in a business of their own. The follow-up within 24 to 40 hours is key. And then set yourself a personal goal on a monthly basis to continue exposing your product to customers, and then continue to look for other people to align with you in your business. Consistency. And then find people on your team who you can teach the 12 daily dozen steps. Learn the basics, do the basics, and teach the basics, and then simply monitor your results. Put the name of the individuals and how you connected with them, and how did you show the plan? What tool did you use? Did you put the follow-up date in? Did you get them onto a three-way call so you could get edification and justification and validation by a third-party individual that's removed from your prospect or your customer who doesn't know them? When somebody you know hears the same message from other people, it starts to become a reality until they see your success. So, but for you to be successful, you need to be able to set up customers. You need people you know to become business partners with you. So if they're waiting to see your success, that'll never happen. But if you leverage the success stories of other people via a three-way call, then you can leverage their success. They can share their story and let the newest person that you're talking to know that you are just getting started. And in the next 3 to 6 months, by working together, the success will be abundantly clear of your own success. So you monitor your activity, you put down your results, your new customers, your new team partners, and get them started the right way. And ultimately, what this tool will help you do is when you want to get some coaching, some counseling, some direction, instead of just telling the person who invited you, got you enrolled, got you started, that you're doing everything it possibly takes. I don't have enough time in my day to actually do it properly. If you can be honest with yourself and hold yourself accountable. Did you read today? Just 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Did you listen to a GoCore app? Did you get online to a customer presentation? Did you watch a team call? Did you get around other people that are energized, moving on, learning? Did you take time to reflect? Did you get time to review your goals, your dreams, your aspirations? Did you plan your diary, or did your day just run away with you? Keeping those indicators, like your vehicle that you're driving, the dashboard. Your auto order is an indicator. Connecting with new people a day is bringing new connections into your opportunity. These are all indicators. Showing the plan. So if you can sit there after 31 days and discipline yourselves just to tick and be honest when you did it, when you didn't do it, if you didn't do it, leave it blank. And then when you get with somebody who is further along the business than you, that can help you, they're going to have a clear indication where your strengths are, where other areas need developing. But when you sit down with someone and they go, can you help me? Sure, I can. What are you doing? Oh, well, I'm doing everything. When you don't know exactly what you're doing, you will always tell someone that you are doing everything it takes. But in reality, we could look at our diary and see that majority of people haven't shared, shown, followed up, done anything in a matter of days. What you've got to do is create daily disciplines. And when you do those daily disciplines daily, over time, you'll get good at what you're doing. It will become natural. It will flow easily. But you initially have to be accountable to change, accountable to that paradigm shift in your thinking, not to work as an individual, but to work as a team player, to learn the skills, the tools, the resources, the platforms, so you can maximize those windows of time effectively, so you can be successful. And we would have succeeded in helping you on a part-time basis generate a full-time income. There's so much more I could share with you on this subject matter, but hopefully we touched on a few things that will help you understand this is a big business. It is not a hobby. And for those who master and manage their own activities in the time they have, they are going to be the individuals who create the largest businesses and organizations and incomes with the Zinzino opportunity.